All right, good morning, everyone. It is almost 11 o'clock. So good to see so many faces logging on. For those of you who have not met me, I am Deborah Randolph. I'm your HR consultant, and I am happy to introduce Katharina Johnson, who is our Director of Large Markets with Benecurve. Kat is going to get us started with the open enrollment presentation this morning, and I will turn it over to you, Kat.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Open Enrollment 2025. Do we want to get started right away, or do you want to give it another minute for other people to join, or should we
I think
just dive right in?
I think if we give it maybe 2 more minutes, that would be great.
Okay, we'll do that then.
Thank you.
But yes, thank you for having us again this year. And Deborah, thank you for, it was a pleasure working with you these past months through this open enrollment. I know it was a difficult task, but you've done wonderful. So thank you for bearing with us. Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I said you all made it easy, and I would like to mention that the presentation today it actually is available online on the ADP front page. So you'll be able to go there and view the information at your leisure, and we'll also upload this session to that site as well for anyone who needs to replay it. All right. All right, Kat, I think we can go ahead and get started.
All right, we'll do that.
Thank
So
you.
again, welcome to Open Enrollment. It's that time of the year again. Today's agenda will go through certain highlights and contact information for you. I will tell you about what you can do at Open Enrollment, what you can't do at Open Enrollment. And I will be joined today by two lovely ladies from Touch Care and Clarity Benefit Solutions. I will discuss the medical plan with you that is still with Care First, and also the dental, vision, life insurance, and disability through Mutual of Omaha. There will always be time for questions and answers, so feel free to use the chat. I will try to monitor that as closely as possible. You feel free to just reach out and say, or spit out a question. We'll answer it right on the spot. So as you know, open enrollment started 12/2/2024, so it's already ongoing. It will end next week on December 12th. The highlights are that we're not changing carriers. It is still with Care First Insurance through DCHL HealthLink. You should have received an email invitation for that. Maybe you had a chance to look at it and have some questions ready for us. Mutual of Omaha is still the dental, vision, and life and disability insurer. And open enrollment elections can be made through the Employer Focus portal, and you should have received an invite there as well in your email inbox. And also from DCHL. So there are two places where you would have to log in to make your elections. If you have not received any of those emails, please let me know. My contact information is in the benefits guides and also right here on the screen. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Some of you may know me. Please don't hesitate. We're here to help with that. So again, I am not alone. I brought some backup here. I have Adrienne Grable, account manager from Touch Care here. She will tell you everything about Touch Care and what you need to know and how you can utilize their services. I'm also joined today by Liz Comin, regional sales manager at Clarity Benefits. I know some of you may have some in-depth or questions about how does my HRA and FSA actually work, and I know I've had seen some inquiries about it, and I've talked to some of the employees already about it. And I know that Liz will show us everything about these changes that are actually coming this year. And they're a great resource here for us today. So at open enrollment, this is your one-time chance a year to either make an election waive coverage or make changes to the current benefits that you have. You can add or remove dependents during this time. Um, Please note the medical plans are renewing automatically. So if you're currently enrolled in DCHL with the Care First plan, please be mindful if you do not want coverage any longer, please make sure to log in and waive coverage because it will basically automatically roll over into the new plan year. Everyone that is a full-time employee, as defined by your company, is eligible, and so are your dependents, children, and spouses. If you make an election at this time, you're basically locked in. What that means is you can only make a change throughout the plan year if you have a qualifying event, like if you have a baby, or you're getting married or divorced, and such things. That is a qualifying event that would allow you to make changes to your benefits. With that being said, I would like to turn it over to our representative from Touch Care. I wanted to ask Adrian, hi, how are you? If you would like me to run through the slides for you, or if you would like to share yourself, but I have them ready if you need them.
Well, it looks like they are the same exact slides, so we'll just use yours since it's already conveniently up there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining. So you may not already know about Touch Care, but in case you don't, we are your health advocate solution. We're also known as a white glove concierge. We want to be your first line of defense when it comes to your healthcare questions or needs, when it comes to you and your family's healthcare. Our company is made up of expert teams of healthcare assistants and billing specialists with years of experience. Our team members are trained on your company benefit package, as well as having a great deal of knowledge of the healthcare system as a whole. So when you reach out to Touch Care, you will receive expert guidance. Privacy is our policy. Any of the information that you share with us is safe with us. We are 100% confidential and HIPAA compliant. None of the information that you share with us is shared with anyone else unless you authorize us to do so by signing a HIPAA release form. You will have unlimited access to our free service. You're able to ask as many questions as you need, as often as you like. Your dependents also have access to our service. Your spouse and children that are looking for healthcare assistance can also utilize Touch Care. This is especially important because you may not be the one in your family who handles the healthcare decisions, makes the appointments, or deals with the bills. So please be sure to bring this information home with you today. Great, thank you. Perfect timing. Why do you want to reach out to Touch Care? Because we want to save you we want to save you money, give you support, avoid errors, and less stress when it comes to your healthcare needs. There are many different reasons why you would want to reach out to us. It's important to know that we're not here just to help with your medical. We're here to help with your dental, visions, any FSAs or HRAs, to name a few. Some of the most common questions we get are, where can I get an MRI? What is my HRA balance? And how much have I met towards my deductible? Okay, so our billing and claims assistants are one of our most popular features used by our members. You can just take a quick picture, send it over to Touch Care, and one of our billing specialists will determine if it's correct or incorrect. If it's correct, we'll explain why. If it's incorrect, we'll also explain why. And then we will do the heavy lifting on getting it corrected for you. Touch Care is free to use. I would try to use it as often as you can, especially when it comes to billing, because we've found about 50% of bills have some sort of error on them. But don't worry, if you've already paid a bill that may be incorrect, we can help you go through the reimbursement process. Another one of our most popular features used by our members is our provider searches. No matter what type of provider you're looking for, we can help you find the perfect fit. We'll get all the information from you, like maybe you have or would prefer a male or female doctor, maybe you have a language preference, or maybe you just need the doctor to be in a certain location, like by your home or office. Anything that you'd like to share with us, we'll take that information and find the highest quality rated in-network provider. It's important to know it's always most cost-effective by staying in-network. We will give those providers a call, make sure they are in network, make sure they're accepting new patients, and that they are able to see you in a reasonable time frame. Once completed, we'll send the top 3 providers for you to choose from. We can even offer to schedule that appointment on your behalf. You can choose to be as hands-on or as hands-off as you would like. We can also offer cost comparisons. So prior to your MRI procedure or surgery, you can reach out to us. You may not realize, but depending on the facility that you go to can mean a large difference in cost. We want to make sure that you're going to the highest quality in-network facility. Just because the doctor recommends a facility does not mean you have to use them. It may not be the best option for your wallet. So you can skip to the next slide, please. Okay, and then one more. Okay, so how to get in touch with TouchCare? We have the app, which is free to download on your smartphone. We have the portal, which is touchcare.com, and our phone is available 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Our phone number 866-486-8242. If you do happen to give us a call during our regular business hours and you happen to have to leave a message, we encourage you to please leave a message because we guarantee a call back in less than 1 hour, but most likely way sooner. It's actually about a 15-minute wait right now. We also offer a one-on-one consultation. They're called a benefit refresher and an RX care. Both are added support when needed, a 15-minute call that you can schedule from the app or the portal. The benefit refresher is typically scheduled mid-year to go over the plan that you've already chosen or maybe to discuss an upcoming procedure. The RX care consultation is used to help find lower cost options on medication, diabetic supplies, and durable medical equipment. Our team will do the research so you don't have to. They will look into alternate pharmacies, coupons, and delivery options to make sure you have the highest cost savings possible. I used this just the other day. I had a $375 monthly RX bill, and I used it, and they got it down to about $70 per month. So if you have high prescriptions, this is definitely something you can look into. The RX care consultation, again, is available on the app or portal. So how do you sign up for TouchCare? You want to go to touchcare.com and go to member login, new member. From there, you enter in your email address. You can enter in your personal email address or your work email address. We don't send any personal information to those email addresses. We just send an update to the email saying that there has been an update to your case where you would need to log in. From there, you just have to fill in your first and last name, your company name, date of birth, and then you can start using TouchCare immediately. And the same goes for your spouse and children over the age of 18. They can create their accounts TouchCare the same exact way. Thank you. Does anybody have any question?
I don't see any questions in the chat yet. I think we're good. Well,
Okay, great. Thank you
anything
so
comes up.
much.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Thank you.
No
All
problem.
right. With that being said, we'll turn it over to Liz. Hi, Liz. Thank you for joining.
Good
Would you like
morning.
to share your slides or do
I
you want
can,
me?
absolutely. Happy to do
All
so.
right. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and I'll let you take over.
Let me see if this is going to. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent. Are you seeing it as the presenter view or full screen?
It is full screen right now.
Yes.
Fabulous, just as I wanted to hear. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for giving me some time today to go over your 2025 benefits that Clarity is administering. And I am here to answer some questions for you as well. But if you have any particular claims questions, personal information, that's something that Kat and I can certainly do as a takeaway, but we would rather have you reach out to us personally after the call. So certainly feel free to ask questions of a general nature, and we're here to support you on your own personal claims questions. To start, we're going to talk about the health reimbursement arrangement that Smoot Construction offers. It is attached to the Blue Choice Advantage HSA HRA Silver $2,500 deductible plan. It's a very long name for a plan, but make sure that you're enrolled in this particular Blue Choice Advantage plan. And if you are entitled to access this HRA to help cover a host of out-of-pocket costs, including pharmacy, vision, and dental expenses. But it's designed to help you pay for copays, deductibles, coinsurance, pharmacy, as I mentioned, that are attached to your health plan, and then a whole host of other over-the-counter items. But keep in mind, if you do use the HRA for those over-the-counter items, it will deplete the money available for you to then apply to your health plan expenses. So be mindful of that as you choose how you're going to spend those dollars down. As an individual enrolled, you would be receiving $2,500 into your HRA. That is available for you for the year. There is no rollover of that money. So if you had money from last year that you did not spend down, that will not roll over into this year. But this fund is available for you to use as needed. For family, it's up to $5,000 that will be applied into your HRA to help offset your expenses. And it's important that you use up or at least submit any receipts that you might have from this year by the end of this 12/31 plan year, so that you don't run the risk of missing out on those reimbursements. So if you have any expenses that you have yet to submit, please try and do so by the end of the year. Going the wrong direction. Here we go. Moving on from the HRA to the medical flexible spending account. This account is a voluntary account, meaning you have to opt into this. It is available for your use. You can enroll in it regardless of which plan you've elected. Even if you are in the Blue Choice plan that has an HRA, you could still decide to open an FSA and make contributions to it. But if you're in any of the other plans that are available, or even if you're not taking the medical insurance through Smoot and you have a medical coverage through your spouse, for example, you are allowed to enroll in a medical FSA. These dollars are pre-tax. The IRS will allow you to set aside up to $3,300 in the 2025 plan year. But we do ask that you at least put in $100 to open up an FSA. So it requires a minimum of $100 contribution for the year, up to a maximum of $3,300. And this money is taken out in pre-tax deductions over the course of the 2025 plan year. The cool thing about the FSA is that you would have access to the total annual elected amount on day one of the plan year. So if you max it out, for example, and you decide to put in $3,300, you would have access to the $3,300 before you've even made your first payroll contribution, which is kind of cool. So if any of you have an upcoming elective surgery looming, or you've got some expensive dental work coming up, or your kid is going into braces, and you know that you've got some significant costs, out-of-pocket costs that are looming on the horizon for 2025, keep that in mind as you decide how much you're going to fund or whether you will open an FSA at all. The other thing that's important for those of you that are in one today, you will have an option to roll over up to $640 of unused money that you have not spent down this year into your 2025 plan year. A couple of things to keep in mind. Anything in excess of the $640 that remains in your account at the end of this plan year is forfeited. That's really important not to run the risk of losing money. So take a minute, check your balance, make sure that it is not in excess of the $640. And if it is, find something to spend it on. There's loads of things out there that the IRS allows you to use those dollars for, sunscreen and Band-Aids and a whole host of other items. But don't let that money become forfeited because you just didn't pay attention to your balance. You will also have a period of time after the end of the plan year, I think it's 90 days, and Kat, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it's 60 for Smoot, that they will have the ability to submit any, I'm sorry, is it 60?
It's 90.
90. You have
Yes.
up to 90 days at the end of this plan year, so January, February, and March, for you to submit receipts for any claims that you incurred during the 2024 plan year. This is not new claims. This is old claims that you may have forgotten about, and that maybe you found the receipt in the armrest of your car or in a drawer in the kitchen. Just gather up any of those receipts, particularly for things like over-the-counter items that you may have forgotten you could claim against the FSA, and submit those at the very latest. You have till the end of March to do that. Once that happens, that end of March deadline occurs, then the FSA for 2024 is closed. Any money in excess of the rollover allowance of 640 is forfeited, and we will basically reconcile the accounts, identify what your rollover balance is, and then within about a week or two into April, you will see those monies appearing in your 2025 Clarity FSA account. Those monies are in addition to any money you contribute. So you don't have to worry about that. Don't have to take that into consideration. You're allowed to put in the maximum up to $3,300. If you decide not to enroll in an FSA next year, maybe you do have $640 of unused money, and that will be sufficient for you for next year. You don't have to enroll in an FSA to have that money roll over and remain available to you. But if you want to continue making contributions in 2025, then you do have to actively enroll in a new FSA for that year, that upcoming year. All of these Clarity accounts do require that you take action to re-enroll. They will not automatically occur as an election for you. And the reason being is that the IRS don't want anyone taking money out of your paycheck without your permission. So do know that if you want to continue making contributions to your FSA for next year, take action and re-enroll. Deciding how much to contribute is all personal to you and your family's needs. Maybe look back a little bit on what you spent last year. Identify common recurring expenses like expensive maintenance drugs, or if you and your family wear eyewear of some sort, if you have dental expenses. These are the things that drive whether it is financially advantageous for you to set money aside. And just make sure that you don't overfund it accidentally and then you're struggling to spend it down. As I mentioned,
if I could make a, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
If I wanted to make a note on this, if you caught this on the earlier slides with the HRA has changed. You are used to paying only deductible and prescription with your HRA, and that HRA has changed. It opened up. You can pay other expenses with the HRA as well. So where we struggled previously, can I pay my dental bill with this? You actually can now. So when your funds are exhausted in the HRA, it will automatically go into that FSA bucket that you contribute to if you choose to contribute to an FSA. Did I get that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Along those same lines, Liz, I do have another question for you to clarify
Sure.
for employees using the FSA and HSA accounts. Could you please clarify the IRS rules about double dipping and highlight where it might be advantageous for someone who may not have the medical coverage but wants to use FSA, and the difference in how those items are covered?
Are you asking the difference between FSA and HSA, health savings accounts, or HRA?
HRA.
Sorry. Yes, when it comes to double dipping.
Yeah.
Do you mind, actually, sorry, do you mind if I ask my question before you go to that? Because it was related to what Catherine just mentioned.
Sure. Go ahead.
So Catherine, that was my question about the HRA. So opening it up now, then it can be used for medical expenses, period. Is that only going to this new year, or is that for this previous year? Because I've had issues with Clarity rejecting a lot of expenses, saying it was only for copays.
The deductibles. Yes, that's correct. That this change will start as of January 1st.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
This should help ease some of that conflict.
Yes.
Where we're being asked to manage the money to a certain set of categories, and now the categories are very broad. So
Yes.
this tendency to have things kind of fall out of approved categories will hopefully be a thing of the past going forward. And that is a setup that's not necessarily Clarity being punitive with you. This is the IRS guidelines and also the way that it was initially established. So Lessons learned, and now I think this is going to make it a lot more attractive for you all to use and easier. More categories being included now will broaden the scope.
Yes.
But we'll have to put receipts and our EOB every single time? Or
So that's a great question. Clarity will ask you for an EOB for the FSA and for the HRA when we can't tell what you actually had done based on just a cash receipt or a doctor's office receipt that just shows a credit card charge. If we can't determine whether or not the charge was IRS approved, and I'll give you for instance, let's say you go to the dermatologist and you send Clarity a receipt for a payment of $200 and it's not the EOB. We don't know whether you had that mole removed that you went for or Botox, which the IRS will not allow you to use pre-tax dollars on. So we will occasionally and sometimes for certain things always ask you for those explanation of benefit forms from your carrier. That is the holy grail of documentation. If you always want to avoid any questions from Clarity to make sure you're on the right side of the IRS so that you're not, going to end up being penalized for spending money on things you shouldn't, the EOB is the best documentation you can provide because it gives the detail we need to know whether that mole was removed versus the Botox. Same thing with dentists. You send us a receipt for $150 and we can't tell whether you had a filling done or teeth whitening. IRS doesn't let you spend your money, pre-tax money on teeth whitening. So we're not trying to make it difficult. It's just we're trying to keep you, the employer, and us also on the right side of the IRS. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah. How do we pay back the HRA if a claim was denied?
So the easiest way is to send a check, but there is a new mechanism that's being opened now where there'll be the ability for you to make that reimbursement online. You can use a credit card, a bank account, what have you. Have you received notification from Clarity that there needs to be a repayment?
No, they just denied a couple claims, so I assume I would have to pay it back.
So if they denied it, then yes, if there's been a request for repayment because the allocation, meaning the item was not an approved expense, then the best thing to do is contact customer service and they will give you instructions on how that repayment can be made. Online is probably going to be your easiest option.
Thank you.
If you guys are ever in doubt about what is covered under the IRS guidelines, there are a couple of different resources available to you. You can actually use your mobile app, the Clarity mobile app, to scan the barcode of an item to see if it's an approved expense under IRS guidelines. If, let's say, you pick up something at CVS and you're not sure, it will give you that widget to be able to scan the barcode. The other resource is on our portal. Under Learn there and Tools and Resources, there's an exhaustive eligibility list that you can look up either alphabetized or just type in a search. And you can even just Google it. Is, sunscreen approved under IRS guidelines for an HRA or for an FSA? And it will tell you. Anytime you have any questions, you can also chat Clarity. We have a chat available online. Or you can contact customer service and ask a live rep during business hours. But hopefully opening it up like this will help to mitigate some of the challenges that you guys may have had this past year with getting things approved.
Thank you. I see Devin has a question for us. Devon, you
Yes,
have a
sorry
question?
about that. Yes, thank you. Is it always the case where if there's an issue with your claim submission, like the dermatologist example you just gave, where you needed an itemized receipt, is it always the case that the initial claim gets denied and you have to refile it, or is there a way to amend your submission and once they say we need more detailed receipt, just provide the receipt, or does it always have to be a new claim?
It does not need to be a new claim. You would be asked to submit substantiation documentation. Again, the EOB, that holy grail. All you can do, if you have the mobile app, you can snap a picture of it with your phone and you should be able to upload it to the record in the claim. You also, there's a fax number that Clarity has that you can reach out to customer service. They'll give you instructions on how to send it in if that is easier. But most people will just either go to the portal or the mobile app and add it as the substantiation documentation that's been requested. It should not have to be a new claim. I will check that just to make sure something hasn't changed in our system, but it is really just a substantiation request that you need to complete in order for it to be approved.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, it shows
Yeah,
usually,
Devin,
I
you
think,
should
in
be.
yellow as a pending.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I hear somebody talk?
No, I was just saying, Devin, if even if they deny it and you go in there, you can still list documents and call them and they'll reopen it. So
Yeah.
Okay, that happened to me. I, of course, end of March, I submitted my my December vision claim, and they needed a detailed receipt showing that I actually had prescription eyeglasses and not sunglasses or something.
Yeah.
And they closed the claim and denied it. So then now, since it was after March 31st, I couldn't file a new claim for 2023. So I didn't know if that was like the rule for all claims, that it would have to be that way, but I guess the
So,
lesson there is really just to make sure you submit your claims before the end of the deadline.
yes, but the claim, if that initial claim met the deadline, then we should be able to pay that claim.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on the medical side of things, the HRA or the FSA? And to your point earlier, somebody mentioned about double dipping. Obviously, the IRS doesn't want to pay the same claim out of both the HRA and the FSA because that is, in fact, double dipping. We are, plagued by IRS guidelines with these products. They don't like pre-tax things. This is one of the few gifts we get from them. So they are pretty rigid about the rules, and I know it can create some frustration, but when it works great. And if we can just stay on the right side, then we don't have to worry about, any tax impact down the road for claims that were inadvertently submitted that were not eligible.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Liz. So those are great questions, guys. We'll go on to dependent care and see if we can push through the rest of the presentation, and then we'll get more questions at the end.
Perfect. So moving quickly, dependent care is for your daycare, typically. If you happen to have an adult dependent, whether it's a adult child that might be going to a daycare program while you're at work, or an elderly parent who's under your tax return as a dependent going to maybe a dementia program. The notion behind this account is for you to be able to come to work, and these individuals that are in your care have the care during the day. Most people use it for before and after school care for their children under age 13, custodial care, as I mentioned, for those dependent adults. But you can also use it for nannies or an au pair if you happen to have somebody in your home. And if you pay them in cash, there's the ability, like through Venmo or Zelle, there is the ability to submit for cash reimbursements from your dependent care account as well. The individual will need to fill out an attestation page, a claim form attestation page, declaring that they are claiming that money under their taxes. The IRS wants to avoid, you getting a pre-tax benefit and then them taking the money under the table. But if you are paying in cash, you still have the ability to get that reimbursed. And we can make sure we give you that attestation page if you need it. Late pickup fees, obviously licensed daycare centers, summer and day camp, but not overnight camp. So if you send your child away to camp in the summer and they're residing overnight, that is not considered daycare, so it is not going to qualify. And not tutoring. If you send your kid to piano lessons in the evening, that's not going to fall under that daycare concept. However, if you send your child to math camp during the summer, and it's during the day, that would qualify. So make sure that if you've got questions or concerns about whether a particular program that you're putting your child in would qualify, you can reach out to us and we'll let you know. At the end of this year, you have a 75-day grace period. Now, grace period is different than run out. Grace period means that you actually have 75 more days extension in the new year to spend on new claims. So if you have not, by some stroke of luck, not spent your $5,000 yet, you have those extra 75 days in the January, February and half of March timeframe to incur new expenses. Anything that's left over after the run out period, which is that 90-day period for claims to be submitted, you would forfeit any remaining balance. And you are allowed to set aside a minimum of $100 to open the account, up to $5,000. Really important to make sure you don't overfund it. If you have a spouse also contributing to a dependent care account in their place of work, make sure the two of you are funding up to $5,000. It is not per person, it is per household. Moving on, starting with clarity, for those of you new to us, you have the ability to register on our portal. You'll be receiving instructions on that, and also download the mobile app. It's free on the App Store for Apple and Android, and it's a great way to interact with us. You'll be receiving a Clarity Benefit debit card. For those of you that are, just check to make sure the card is still valid. They're 3 years. The valid time frame is 3 years, but just check. And if those cards need to be renewed, obviously you'd be getting one automatically. Those of you new to Clarity, you'll be getting one just before the 1/1 plan date starts. It comes in a very nondescript plain white envelope. It's blue with a MasterCard symbol on it. Please don't throw it away thinking that it is a solicitation from a bank that you did not want. Keep your eye out for it. You can also attach the Clarity debit card to a mobile pay digital wallet. Apple, Google, and Samsung Pay all work. If you have a kid away in college and you want them to have access to your HRA dollars or your FSA dollars, connect your card to a Google, Samsung, or Apple wallet, and they can use the card while they're away. You can also request an additional card through customer service as long as they are 18 years or older, if you do happen to need one. Same thing goes for a dependent, spouse, etc. The mobile app is a great way to interact with us. It's probably the easiest way to snap a picture of that EOB and submit a claim. You can do a whole host of other things on the mobile app, including check your balance, view your transactions, get text alerts on things that may be important to you. And then filing a claim is straightforward. You follow these dialog boxes and they're all dropped down. So you fill them in based on the details that are relevant to you. You can even set up recurring payments through the claims mechanism, particularly helpful for daycare. If you've got a daycare center that you want to pay each time you have money building up in your dependent care account, you can actually have it occurring on a recurring basis so that you don't have to keep going in and filing claims. Important to note, dependent care dollars are not front loaded. You can only spend what you've contributed. That's not the case with FSA or HRA. So I just want to make sure that distinction is noted. And then there are a couple of ways to reach us. There is the online chat feature now that's live during business hours and a chat bot after hours. And then you have the 888 customer service line. It gets really busy this time of year, but there is a callback feature. So if you don't want to sit on hold, please just press the callback and somebody will reach back out to you. I know it's a little frustrating the end of the year, but everybody's got the same questions as most groups are kind of renewing. So feel free to reach out to HR, feel free to reach out to Kat, but you should have, a number of ways to access Clarity in order to get your questions answered. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Liz. All right. Are there any questions before we move on to the medical plan?
There are questions about actions needed to enroll. Is there a requirement if people are keeping the same coverage? If they want to waive?
Yes. So for the medical enrollment, if you don't want to make any changes to what currently is in place, you don't have to do anything. I do recommend, just logging into DCHL, just making sure is my address still accurate and those type of things. But the medical plan itself is not really changing, but you may have noticed the deductible is changing. That is an adjustment by CareFirst or most carriers these days, because of IRS, again, regulating what is a high deductible plan and what is not. So they're adjusting the deductibles on their medical plans. So your plan went from $2,250 to $2,500 for the individual. Regarding your Mutual of Omaha coverages, so if you want to make changes to dental and vision, you have to log in. If you don't want to make changes, you don't have to. Everything will be renewing as is, with the exception of your FSA. The flexible benefits must be re-enrolled every year. This is not an automatic. So you would have to log into the employer focus system and make your election from there, and we'll take it to Clarity. But you have to make an election. This is not an automatic re-enrollment. Does that help? Yeah, if anyone has any trouble logging in, like I said, please reach out to me. We can also get you in touch with the employer focus team if there is a technical problem, but we'll make sure you get into the system to make your changes or review. It's also a good time of the year to, double check on your beneficiaries that you have under your life insurance plan. Life circumstances may have changed and you want to revisit that. All right. Well, with that being said, as I mentioned, the medical plan is not changing per se. So it is still the same plan, the Blue Choice Advantage HRA Silver 2,500 deductible. This plan is a open access plan in a sense where you can use it nationwide. You don't have to be located in a certain area. It's not an HMO plan. Everybody, wherever you live in the United States, can enroll in this plan and utilize it with in-network benefits across the country. The deductible on this plan has changed. It went up a little bit, but Smoot Construction has made the adjustment in their HRA contributions. So basically, they upped it these $250 and now paying into your HRA $2,500 and $5,000 for the family, just as you see here, matching the deductible. So basically, you're enrolling in a zero deductible plan if you want to. That's a very generous offer, in my opinion. I don't see that very often here in the field. So yeah, if you want to enroll in this plan, you have an out-of-pocket maximum here of $8,050 per individual and $16,100 for the family. Your primary care doctor visits are $25 after the deductible, which means if you go to the doctor now at the beginning of the plan year, you probably have to pay towards the deductible first before that copay kicks in. Once you reach your deductible, you only pay $25 per visit with your primary care. The specialist doctor visits are $50 after the deductible. Inpatient hospitalizations is $500 a day after the deductible. Emergency room visits are $250 after the deductible. And I want to mention emergency room visits, these co-payments, even if you go home and come back the next day to the emergency room, you're still paying, again, $250. We'll talk about that shortly, what my recommendations are for when to go to the emergency and when you should maybe not go and find, maybe an urgent care with a cheaper option. But emergency room visits are very expensive. They come in at a $250 copay after you met your deductible. The prescription plans are $10 for generics and $45 for name brands and $65 for any specialty drugs. But you would also have to meet your deductible first before these copays for prescriptions kick in. Again, you can utilize your HRA funds with that. So there is, the deductible to be met, but utilize your HRA card that you receive from Clarity and swipe it at the pharmacy. It should go right through. Any questions regarding this plan? I'd like to mention also that out-of-network coverage is available, but it comes at a much higher cost. So the deductible then doubles for each tier, the out-of-pocket maximum as well. And your co-payments are also much higher than if you were to be with a provider that is in the Blue Cross Blue Shield network. All right, the cost for the Blue Choice Advantage plan per employee is here listed with biweekly costs. So the employee only coverage with no dependents is $105.60. For employee and spouse, you pay $200.64. The same for children or one child if you're enrolled, $200.64. The family coverage under this plan is $287.76. Any questions so far? Do I see
So
any
we have a
questions?
question about health club membership reimbursements.
Yeah, we'll get there. I see already good questions coming, and I want to talk about that very soon. So, before we get to the perks that come with a medical plan, I really want to mention those as well. This is what I talked about here briefly, how expensive the emergency room is. So we want to share with you, know before you go and seek care. So when you have a need for medical needs, like you having a cold or you feeling off, you might be getting sick, and you don't want to leave the house, we highly recommend sign up with Close-Knit Virtual Care. Close-Knit partners with Blue Cross Blue Shield and is available 24/7, 365 days a year. They also have virtual first primary care. They have urgent care, and they also have urgent mental health care. I can't stress this enough. If you're feeling off and you're feeling just, you need to talk to somebody, reach out to Close-Knit. They have real professionals available that even help with, a stressful burnout and you need some mental health. They're here for you all year long, and it's the lowest cost paid by your insurance, really. So I would highly recommend getting your Close-Knit virtual care account. They're awesome. I am myself a Care First member and I utilize them. 24-hour nurse advice line is also available. They cannot prescribe, but they can give some advice and answer questions regarding medications. Let's say you're a new mom and you're not feeling good and you're trying to take some medication, but you're unsure what you can take. And it's after hours, doctor is not available, call the nurse line and they will help you with any of those type of questions. The third cheapest option is to visit your PCP for your routine physicals and diabetic care and such things. There's also the convenience care through the Minute Clinics from CVS. They're a little higher priced than in copays than your PCP visits. Urgent cares is a great alternative to the emergency room. Let's say if you have a sprain, deep cuts, or you suspect you have a broken leg, maybe through an injury that you sustained. The wait times are much shorter and it's less out of pocket cost for you. Emergency rooms, of course, they are high priced, but in life-threatening situations, you should definitely go to your emergency room instead of the urgent care. I had my son with a neck injury due to playing football, and we went to the urgent care because he said his shoulder hurt. That was the wrong place to go. In these cases, go to the emergency room. That is the place to be in those types of scenarios. Are there any questions regarding the services for provider care? No? All right. So what's included with your Care First plan? And I heard the question. So Care First is not just your medical insurance provider. They also have some nice perks that come with it. And also tools available to you that you can utilize. So Care First Wellbeing, for example, is available with different wellness programs, sensation classes if you want to quit smoking, if you want some advice or help with establishing weight management classes, those types of things, they're available to you. There's also a Blue Rewards incentive program that you can participate in if you register with My Account. I'm going to talk about this shortly. My Account is your Care First access, anything regarding your benefits. And that comes also with the incentive program if you want to participate. They actually pay out money to you, or they load it onto a little card that you can utilize if you participate in certain wellness programs, age uh, age assessment steps. So there's some questionnaires you can complete for real ages. So compared to your actual age, what is the age of my body? You can earn points. They load money onto a Blue Rewards incentive program. You can, I think it's up to $200 that you can earn by participating in these Blue Rewards incentive programs. You can walk some steps if you have a little watch or your phone tracks your steps. Load that up into the Blue Rewards program. You will be rewarded for it as well. My account is a personalized member portal. That's where you find your EOBs. What was mentioned earlier, when you have to substantiate a claim for the HRA, for example, or the FSA, whatever it may be, there you find the explanation of benefits, that EOB, where you can take a snapshot of it and send it to Clarity. So please sign up with my account. It's a great tool to have. You can find your ID cards there, certain cost estimators, all types of things. You can find doctors, treatment cost for certain upcoming surgeries or medications. Blue 365, health and wellness deals and discounts. This is where you want your gym membership discount. So Blue 365, sign up with it. You find information on the Care First app or Care First account. Blue 365 offers more than just discounts on gym memberships. They are also giving you discounts on certain brands that you prefer. Like if you're very active, you like Nike, Under Armour, Reebok, whatever it may be, you find some great discounts and coupons there. If you are enrolled in a gym membership that costs you more than $20 a month, it's a great way of saving there. I know their programs to gym membership discounts start at $19.95. So if you have the Planet Fitness for $10, it's not worth signing up for. But if you pay more than $20 for your gym membership currently, I will highly recommend that you sign up with Blue 365. So virtual care, I mentioned that earlier. It's an advanced primary care. It's an urgent care, mental health services, provide new parent support and nutrition services. Again, CloseNet is your partner when you prefer to have everything virtually. My account, this is where you need to go. So you search on my account for your doctors, hospitals, urgent care centers, view and order ID cards. You can check your claim statuses if you have submitted anything from an out-of-network provider. You do this through my account. You can track the status. You can chat with Care First representatives. And you can access a variety of Care First programs that I mentioned earlier, Blue Rewards, CloseNet, and so forth. So you should go ahead and download your app or do it through your browser on your computer and sign up with Care First. Online tools are also available for pharmacies. So I know there's always a lot of questions surrounding RX and prescriptions. You can find pharmacies under carefirst.com/RX. You can check if certain drugs are covered under your plan. CareFirst updates their RX listing quite regularly, probably every quarter. Sometimes medications that are currently on the list might be taken off, and I'm just referring here to mainly and oftentimes they ask questions about weight loss management. So CareFirst has been a carrier that has been prescribing Wegovy and all these others, but it needs prior approval. And if you want some detailed information about certain drugs, please visit the tools and resources that are given. You can check also for costs, but again, There's also your touch care team who will find you even probably a better deal. So take advantage of touch care to search for certain deals for you in case some of the prescriptions may not be covered under the medical plan. All right. Any questions regarding the medical plans or the services that come with it? Do we have any questions in the chat?
Not right now.
Not right now.
We have about 6 minutes left.
I'll
Any
be quick.
any questions for Kat right now? Okay.
All right. Okay, so dental and vision plans have not changed, but I want to give you a quick refresher. So Mutual of Omaha is your in-network provider for a carrier for your dental plan. There is a deductible on the plan for the individual of $50. And if you have any dependents, it's $150 for you and them. The annual maximum that that plan pays out is $1,500, and this is per person. So everyone that is enrolled can utilize up to $1,500 each year. Type A services, which is preventive care services, so your annual cleaning and x-rays and checkup, they're at no charge. Type B services cost you 20% after the deductible. Type B is like need a filling, that would be falling under Type B. Type C services, now we're talking crowns and inlays and the very expensive part of the dentist visit. You pay 50% after you met your deductible. Orthodontia is also covered and you pay $50 after the deductible. I want to note that orthodontia services are also for your dependents, and I get the question a lot about children's age. A lot of dental plans age out at 19. For Mutual of Omaha, it is actually 26. So if you have an adult dependent that wants braces, if that claim is submitted before they turn 26, it will pay out or will be covered. Out-of-network coverage is available, but I want to caution everyone that even though your dental plan may look the same, that it pays the same, but it doesn't, because they're paying based on what is normally contractually agreed upon with an in-network. So whatever the difference is between an in-network and an out-of-network dentist, you will pay the higher rates that, and your provider, the dentist, can balance bill you. So be aware, try to find somebody in network. If you need help with finding providers, Mutual of Omaha has a long list as well, and I'm happy to guide you where to find an in-network dentist. The vision plan, cost first, dental plan. Nothing has changed. So the employee-only rate is $6.50 biweekly. Employee and spouse is $15. Employee and children is $13, and the family $21.50. So there are no changes this time. The vision plan is also through Mutual of Omaha. Your eye exam is $10 copay. Eyeglass frames is $130 allowance plus a 20% off of the balance over allowance. Standard lenses is a $25 copay that includes single, bifocal, trifocal, and lenticular. Contact lenses, you have $130 allowance plus 50% off the balance over the allowance. And there is out-of-network coverage available, but again, at a higher cost to you. That benefit is 100% employer paid if you choose to elect. But you have to make that election. It is not an automatic enrollment because it is still what we consider a Section 125 plan. It is optional. So if you choose to enroll in that vision plan, it will be paid by your employer. All right. Yeah, go ahead. Did you?
As I know you're closing up, if you can just at the end reiterate if someone needs to actively do something to enroll, where those areas are and the areas where it's going to be a passive enrollment, that would be awesome.
Okay, absolutely. Quickly, life and AD&D insurance. The term life insurance with a flat $50,000 benefit, you're automatically enrolled. It is absolutely free to you. That's 100% employer paid. Voluntary life insurance is still available to you, even though if you have not signed up at your initial enrollment. This is employee paid. So you're buying up if you think $50,000 is not enough for me. You have the option to enroll in a separate voluntary life insurance plan, you and your spouse. There is the option to enroll now, but only if you are providing an EOI. That is a medical questionnaire you would have to provide to enroll, and it needs to be submitted to Mutual of Omaha for approval, but there is the option to enroll. If you currently are enrolled, you as the employee only, not your spouse, you could add right now $10,000 up to the guarantee issue amount. And you don't need to complete an EOI. There is no medical questionnaire required. At renewal, you can add an additional $10,000. For children, there is never an EOI necessary. It is not asked of you. But if you're new to this plan now and say, I want to enroll in a voluntary life insurance plan, you would have to provide an EOI. They consider this a late entrant. And then last but not least, there's a short-term and a long-term disability plan that is also 100% paid by your employer. The short-term disability has a weekly benefit of 60% of your total weekly earnings, up to $1,500 each week. The benefits would begin after the 14th day of your injury or illness, and it lasts and pays up to 11 weeks. The long-term disability plan is also 60%, but it's of your total that should be monthly earnings. Somebody made a mistake here. That is monthly earnings. I'm going to have to update this. Up to $6,000 each month. So my apologies. I noticed that this is not correct. That benefit pays up to $6,000 each month. That's where it comes in. Benefits begin 90 days from the date of your disability. And the duration is up, it pays up until your Social Security age, so usually 65 years. Okay, if there are no other questions regarding the Mutual of Omaha benefits, I'm opening it up for all the other questions. But just to reiterate, for your medical plan, if you do not want to make changes, it will be renewing as you currently are enrolled. Same dependents, no dependents, there will be no change. It is done through DCH HealthLink. It's an email that you should have received. If you don't recall your login, I'm happy to send you links and you could select forgot my password maybe, but DCHL is for your medical. If you don't want to make any changes, don't touch it. Otherwise, if you want to waive or make any coverage tier changes, you want to add or remove dependents, please make that change on DCHL. For your dental and vision or voluntary life and FSA or dependent care, you have to go to Employer Focus, which you should have received an email. It will send out another reminder soon. But please review what is currently enrolled for dental and vision. If you don't want to make any changes, you don't have to touch it. It will automatically renew. For FSA, this is an active enrollment. You must elect if you want to continue FSA. But again, I want to caution you how much you want to contribute, because now your HRA is paying more or for more services that you may have previously used for with your FSA funds. And since this is a use it or lose it account, you might want to sit down and calculate what you are probably expecting to pay out of pocket. So make your election wisely on the FSA so you just don't lose any money.
Any more
questions?
Awesome. We know it's a lot of information to digest.
Yes.
I also know many of you have already enrolled online, which is awesome. Um, We have information already on the ADP homepage. So if you go there now, you will actually see an image that says Open Enrollment 2025. If you click on that image, it opens up a link to all of the instructions on how to log in to the different portals. It gives you more information about each plan. And so that is available right now on the ADP portal, including phone numbers and emails as well to assist. So we'll have this presentation loaded up to ADP before the end of the day as well. And I hope that this was helpful to everyone. Thank you so much, Katharina and Elizabeth, for helping us to understand and plow through all of this for this year. You guys have worked really hard, and we appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you, and thank you so much to your leadership and human resources. You've done fantastic. And we're here to help, and don't hesitate to reach out to Adrienne with Touch Care. She's wonderful, and they get you the best deal possible.
Yes. Okay, so I'll add more links to ADP today for Touch Care, for Blue 365 deals, everything and anything to assist you with any and all questions. And with that, if there's no more questions, have a marvelous rest of your day.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
weekend.
you too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great weekend.
Enjoy.
Bye.